how does India look at this entire scenario? Now, obviously, this is impacting Indian shipping also. They are using terror, and this is something I think the Iranians have learned from the Pakistanis, or the Pakistanis have learned from the Iranians. I don't know who's learned from whom. Probably the Pakistanis learned from Iran. Iran was a peace-loving nation. They had a king. Iran was vibrant. Iran had modern values, modern culture. Yes, they were a Muslim country, but they were pretty sorted out. Jai Hind, friends. I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Friends, first of all, my sincere apologies. For the past 2 days, I did not post any video because I was in Tirupati. I was on a pilgrimage, and also I had been invited to Tirupati to give a talk at a school. There were kids, around 2,000-3,000 kids there. And I had gone to speak to the kids and, motivate them and tell them about, what they could do and how they could face the challenges of life, etc. And also on a pilgrimage, so I'd gone, it's a long drive up the hillside all the way to Tirupati. So I was doing that. For that reason, I could not post videos or I could not record anything. So my sincere apologies to you. Now, a lot of people in the world think that this entire exchange between Houthi rebels and the various ships and containers was bound to get out of hand one day, and there would be a response. And that response has now come with the aircrafts of the United States of America and the United Kingdom, who have gone ahead and bombed the Houthi rebels in their stronghold. This is the first time in the near past it has happened where aircrafts of two countries have gone and actually bombed locations. Now, we've been given to believe by various news outlets that there are also Predator drones which are overflying Houthi-held areas. So tomorrow, if there is an intelligence or if there is an input, the US could very well put a Hellfire missile in any house or any vehicle that it chooses to. Now, I'm going to tell you a few details, ladies and gentlemen. This is very important. So, who are the players who are there? There is Australia, Bahrain, Canada, Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands, New Zealand, South Korea, UK and the US. They are present in the Red Sea, and also present in that area are 10 ships of the Indian Navy. But India has refused to join that coalition because India, our strategic priorities are slightly different from that of the United States of America. Number two, we can't be seen as joining an alliance which is fighting. We have always maintained a neutral policy, and there is no way you're going to see the Indian Navy alongside all these navies bombing Houthis. If it comes to Indian interests, sure, we'll bomb Houthis or we'll bomb whoever we want to. But unless that happens to us, and there is a reason, a lot of people think that, hey, this is a selfish sort of a attitude. A lot of people have accused us. They're saying that, when you are in a problem, then the world will not help you. The world has never helped us. We have been at it alone. I mean, yes, Israel has helped us with weaponry. And once in 1971, the Soviet Union sent its submarines. But India has fought so many wars. India has fought so many wars. Who helped us? Nobody. In 1947-48, nobody helped us. In 1962, nobody helped us. In 1967, Nathula, nobody helped us. In 1971, yes, for that brief period of a week or so, there were Soviet submarines, but they were not to help us. They were to stop the American fleet. That has also helped, by the way, and for that we are grateful. But the fact of the matter is, it is like we are fighting against the Pakistanis and somebody is helping the Indians to fight against the Pakistanis or the Chinese. That has never happened. It did not happen in so many insurgencies in the Northeast, or terrorism in Kashmir, or terrorism in Punjab. It did not happen when thousands of Indians were killed in terror attacks, which originated in Pakistan. Nobody helped us. Who helped us in Kargil 1999? Nobody. We've always gone it alone. So for anybody to say that we will not help you when you get stuck, boss, nobody's helped us and we don't want anybody's help. This is India's foreign policy. The world must learn to live with it. You see, there is another issue also in this whole thing, right? There is the factor of Iran. And let me just explain this entire geopolitical scenario to you. Now, if India, this is all geopolitics. So when India wants to get to Afghanistan, right? Or if India wants to get to Central Asia, or a land route from India, right? Obviously, it will have to cross the sea. Otherwise, you go through Pakistan. Pakistan is not going to allow India to use its land. Pakistan could have made billions of dollars, but Pakistanis are essentially stupid, not forward-thinking. Their leaders, I mean, when I say Pakistanis are stupid, I mean the people who run Pakistan are stupid, right? I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the leadership of Pakistan. They could have benefited by this. If India did trade with Central Asia, if India could build a railway track all the way from New Delhi or some other place, you see, and this railway track could have gone all the way through Pakistan, through Afghanistan, through Central Asia, all the way down to Eastern Europe and from there to Western Europe. Now, India is doing the same thing today, right? India is doing exactly the same thing today, except that the initial part of it will go, through the sea route from Gujarat or Maharashtra to Iran, and from Iran onwards by rail and road. This entire corridor could have gone through Pakistan. Pakistanis are stupid. Their entire thing is that whether we are benefited or not, it does not matter. India must be harmed. So with this kind of a negative thinking, it's not surprising that that country is, down in the gutter. Very recently, they got, I think, 700 million US dollars as some sort of aid from IMF, and the entire nation is celebrating. Pakistan, had it understood basic geoeconomics, Pakistan would have told India, hey, you want to trade, you want to use our land, done. No problem. Okay? You will build infrastructure for us, which we will own. I mean, India will pay for it, Pakistan will own. You will send your trucks, we will check the trucks, right? We will have the complete hold, and on every truck you will give us these many dollars. It was a simple transaction. But the Pakistanis, no. Hatred for the Hindu, hatred for India is what drives Pakistan. We don't care now. Now we don't need Pakistan. We have made the Chabahar port in Iran. So what is happening is, India's interest in all this is to balance Iran. Because we have got our strategic interests. It's very easy to say, bomb the Houthis. Even I would say that. I say that very often, just bomb them, yeah, who cares? But the fact of the matter is, we need to control, and we need to have a very, in the sense that you need to have a very, very balanced approach. Where is India's geopolitical interest lie? It lies in the fact that you cannot isolate Iran. If you isolate Iran, if India isolates Iran, how does India get to Central Asia? There is no other way. So I think this part is extremely important, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you a few more news items here. So Joe Biden sanctioned the hits, and more than 55 countries have been affected by these attacks on international maritime routes. India, of course, this ship coming to India was attacked, and essentially what is happening is 60 targets in 28 sites. They were hit. 60 targets, 28 sites, and these are Houthi sites. They were attacked by America and by UK. Now, let me tell you, how does India look at this entire scenario? Now, obviously, this is impacting Indian shipping also. It is impacting insurance. It is impacting willingness of the containers to ply that route. It is impacting everything. And this is what Iran uses, unfortunately. Beautiful country, beautiful people. I mean, I really love Iran. It's just those mad mullahs I can't understand, yeah. Those crazy guys, sitting at the apex of power in Iran. Complete lunatics. Now the thing is that, they are using terror, and this is something I think the Iranians have learned from the Pakistanis, or the Pakistanis have learned from the Iranians. I don't know who has learned from whom. Probably the Pakistanis learned from Iranians, you see, to use terror as an instrument of state policy. So what you do is, you create these terror groups, basis faith, religion, and then you fund them. Once you start funding somebody, you become their boss. It's as simple as that. So you fund them, you become their boss, and then you control them. And these guys this is like a multinational, it's like the United Nations of terror. And Iran has got its fingers in every pie. Iran was not like that before 1979. Iran was a peace-loving nation. They had a king. Iran was vibrant. Iran had modern values, modern culture. Yes, they were a Muslim country, but they were pretty sorted out. Nobody had a problem with Iran. It all happened after the Ayatollah's revolution in 79. Iran went to the dogs after that, unfortunately. So here is what it is. This is how Iran controls stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You tell a terrorist group to bomb them, so resulting therefore in this geopolitical situation, and then people come to Iran, and then Iran plays the peace broker. Now, with all that nonsense happening in West Asia that the world likes to call the Middle East, so let's call it the Middle East for easier understanding. We call it West Asia. In the Middle East, what is happening? There is war going on, there is bombing going on, there is terrorism going on. And who's benefiting from all that? Who do you think is the geopolitical beneficiary? It is Iran. Iran is benefiting from that. So what is happening is that people are trying to push this narrative that, hey, listen, maybe these ships should turn a little. This entire, bunch of countries who are there, who are bombing the Houthis, right? So there is a narrative being built that, hey, maybe, if the ships could turn a little bit, just a little bit, right? Then they'd be facing Iran. Iran knows this. Iran is playing a very delicate balancing game. And now what has happened is that, which was one of the first countries to criticize the Americans and the English, both the Americans and the British, who carried out the strike against the Houthis, which was one of the first countries. It was Russia. China has been muted, but China can get Russia to speak, because Russia has now started depending a lot on China. And this is again America's stupidity. They needlessly started attacking Russia via Zelensky. They shouldn't have done that. They should have sorted it out. Yes, Russia was wrong to enter Ukraine. It was wrong. But then Russia had been provoked to enter Ukraine. And now what has happened is you have pushed Russia into the Chinese fold. And today when the Chinese say something, Putin will say yes. And this is exactly what is happening here. What else do you think is happening? So how do these pieces on the chessboard pan out? Let me explain to you. You have Iran, which is funding terror organizations. Iran, that is supported by China, right? And China, which is supported by Russia. So when the Americans and the British bomb Houthi positions, Russia speaks up and says, this is wrong, this is a blatant act of aggression, right? So Russia will condemn. People will use the United Nations to play geopolitics. China will condemn it. Who are they saving? Are they interested in the Houthis? They couldn't care less if the Houthis died, all of them tomorrow. They couldn't care less. They are protecting their pawn in this entire game, and their pawn is Iran. And Iran's pawn is the Houthis, right? This is how it is panning out. Now, India needs to balance, because India has $125 billion worth of trade with China. But India also has a border issue with China. Almost 1 million men and women are eyeball to eyeball along the line of actual control. More than 3,500 kilometers in length, right? Massive deployments, number one. Number two, India is very close friends with Russia. You cannot negate that. Number three, while I as an individual, I as an Indian may have, 10 differences with the regime in Tehran, the fact of the matter is India has great friends with Iran also. India has spent billions of dollars in the Chabahar port in creating a railway line. So India is dealing with a lot of complex situations here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very, very highly complex situation that India is dealing with. And this is why it requires the mastery of somebody like Dr. S. Jaishankar. And of course, the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. I think that is where India is walking. For India, it's never a clear option. Go with the West or go with China. Now, India is saying go with India. A third power is emerging. And all these challenges geopolitically, ladies and gentlemen, it gives India the unique opportunity. A very unique, though it's a very tough choice. It's a terrible choice, I can tell you, because so much of pressure on you. But this gives India, an option, or it gives India, let's say, a platform actually, not an option, but a platform to tell the world that this is also a way, the way India does it, or let's call it the India way, by which you can transact business. You don't have to be on one side or the other side. You don't have to be pro-Iran or anti-Iran or pro-China or anti-China or pro-America or anti-America. No. You can be pro-India. You can be pro-yourself and deal with the world from that position of strength. So this is what I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, how this entire geopolitical, scenario is panning out. Thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.